Y'all not supposed to be around here. Get the fuck out.
As with most films that I break down on this channel, Mid90s is another favourite, but it's also one that stands out to me due to its unique cinematography. So what happens when an actor becomes a director? Well, in Jonah Hill's case, it's somewhere he always wanted to be, and in fact he only started acting to learn how to direct actors. Unfortunately, he fell into the hole of working with some of the best directors of all time and becoming a critically acclaimed actor before, after 15 years, being able to direct his first feature. In today's video though, I don't want to look at Mid90s as a film. Instead, I want to look at the unique cinematography that propels it and absorbs the audience. Unlike some of my previous videos, I'll only be looking at the equipment used and the cinematography in general, since I really couldn't find much on the pre-production process. In order to amplify the 90s look, Christopher Blauvelt opted to shoot the film on Super 16mm film, using the Arriflex 416 Plus paired with Zeiss's Super Speed lenses. Super Speeds are one of the most popular cinema lenses today. They are incredibly fast, meaning that they are brilliant at night and have that vintage look that many DPs are striving for in lenses. As for the film stock, he used Kodak's Vision 350D, 250D and 500T, but why did he choose to use Super 16mm over normal 16 or 35 in the first place? To put it simply, it's because it's more true to the story. It creates the nostalgic look that they were looking for simply by existing. To look at the characteristics of the film stocks though, 50D is usually used due to its high dynamic range and increased highlight sensitivity, as well as its incredibly fine grain and ability to stay sharp. The same goes for 250D and 500T, with the difference with 500T being that it is a tungsten balanced stock. All three stocks however are known for their incredible skin tone reproduction. I used the 50D as much as I could, right until the sun went down, when I then switched to 250D, which I also underexposed and pool processed at the lab, but that was fine as the two Kodak daylight stocks match incredibly well together. So whilst a lot of the look is down to the use of film stock over digital, another major part of the look was in the lighting. Now if we look at some of the behind the scenes shots of the film, you'll notice that when outside, artificial light has been kept to an absolute minimum. The interior shots also look as though they haven't been lit, and whilst some of them may have used purely natural light, some also used a technique that many cinematographers use when this is not available, and it is to amplify or imitate the natural light. This is where you take a scene and light it to look as though you have just placed a camera there and pressed the red button. There isn't really much else to it, it's purely to make it look as though you haven't lit at all, and the fact that it's hard to tell if this has happened in a scene just goes to show how much of an incredible job Blauvelt did on the film. Moving on to the actual framing of the film though, we first need to look at the aspect ratio, as it's rare now for films to stray from the usual 1.85 to 1, 2:1 and 2.39 to 1, but we do occasionally see films in a 4:3 or rarely 1:1. They did however opt to use 4:3 in Mid90s due to the ability for it to make people reminiscent about a different time, the 90s, when the film is set. It's also why the lighting is so natural, because people were watching VHS tapes that weren't professionally lit. The use of centre framing throughout though was intriguing, as we rarely go 3 minutes without seeing it being used, but it works for the film, and even though centre framing has many uses and meanings, you instantly know what reason they're using it for. Is it to show immersion in a new environment, to create impact, or even just for a bit of humour? Notice the colour in any film that you watch. It may be vibrant, dull, or sometimes no colour at all. Now, it's obvious where the colour comes from in a film like this, as it was shot on film and they wanted it to look like an old VHS tape. But when talking about the use of film, Blauvelt said, "One of the beauties of film is that it gives you a passport to a period. It's very easy to get an appropriate nostalgic look by starving the negative through the underexposure on set and pulling by one stop at the lab, whereby the colours don't come to fruition and the contrast is reduced." Of course, this was aided by the superb production design by Yamin Asa and costume design by Hadi Bivens. When you shoot digitally, you have to really work the image, using various combinations of filtration, older lenses and the addition of grain to get a period feel. but film gets you there instantly. I also don't know if it's just me, but there is something about the cinematography of mid-90s that is really easy on the eyes, making for an unusually soothing watch for this kind of genre.
Dude, if a fucking doctor gave it to you, can it possibly be bad for you?
Overall, mid-90s has some of the most natural yet unique cinematography of recent years. Blanc has managed to hit the sweet spot between nostalgic and modern. They use minimal lighting, but it works, and if you weren't told that this was released in 2018, then you would think that it was shot in the mid-90s. If you have a film or show that you would like to see me break down, then leave a comment down below. If you found this video helpful, a thumbs up is appreciated, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.